This crowd is very angry. I spoke with multiple people today who say that they did not ask for this. They are angry ICE is here. They were scared something like this would happen.
The desire to get out and protest and to speak up to this administration of how wrong this is, that is a patriotic duty at this point in time, but it needs to be done safely.
Today, following the fatal ICE shooting of an American citizen in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
All right, folks, buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into a story that's not just tragic, but infuriating. We're talking about the fatal ICE shooting of an American citizen in Minneapolis, a situation that has rightly sparked outrage and a whole lot of questions. And let me tell you, when you watch this video, you will hear the official responses. It's like a masterclass in deflection, partisanship, and frankly, a stunning lack of basic human empathy. But don't worry, we're here to cut through the noise, call out the nonsense, and figure out what's really going on behind the spin. Let's roll the clip and see what we got.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has stated that it is Americans' patriotic duty to protest ICE safely after she was shot and killed. Now, Cenk, you have seen the video of the ICE shooting, so you're filled in on the details. What are your 2 cents?
Yeah, so just to start here, I thought it was a totally unjustified shooting. Like really, you thought his life was in mortal danger. And so if you see it as a lot of us are seeing it, and it is a bit of a Rorschach test, which we'll come back to, then of course you're gonna protest. I mean, if this was the Biden era and they were enforcing COVID restrictions and the same exact woman was in the same exact situation with a law enforcement officer, I don't see the right wing going, oh no, it's cool. I'm glad they shot and killed her. And we're good with it, we're good with it. So our politics is infecting how we literally see an event.
That's exactly right? So I mean, just think about what transpired on January 6, 2021.
Hold on. Our politics is affecting how we literally see an event? You know what? I can't agree more. But let's be real about who is doing the infecting here. When the right wing screams about partisan lenses, it's often a classic projection, isn't it? They're the ones who, time and time again, twist narratives to fit their pre-existing bias, especially when it comes to state violence. Think about it. If this was a Black Lives Matter protester, or someone that deemed Antifa, or suddenly the partisan lenses would disappear, and they'd be cheering on whatever brutal force was deployed. But when it's one of theirs, or when it exposes the flaws in their tough on crime ideology, suddenly everyone else is too emotional, too political. It's a convenient shield, isn't it? And the January 6th comparison, oh, that's a juicy one. That's good. The outrage over Ashley Babbitt, who was actively participating in insurrection and breaking into the Capitol, versus the absolute silence, or worse, justification for a woman shot dead in her car for what? Trying to flee? Come on, the double standard is so glaring, it's practically a spotlight. We're talking about a fundamental difference in how we value human life and due process. For some, the mere act of disobeying authority is a capital offense, especially if that authority is wearing a badge. For others, like us, we believe in accountability, in an appropriate force, and in radical ideas that a traffic stop or an immigration check shouldn't be a death sentence, should it?
One of the people who stormed the Capitol did get shot and killed, and the right wing was outraged by that.
Yeah, so guys, instead of doing whataboutisms on every single one of these, like, okay, well then you guys were wrong about Ashley Babbitt, but you were wrong about this. Why don't we have one standard and a principle that we apply to irrespective of politics and partisanship, right? So look, I know that a lot of people looked at that video and thought he was right to shoot her. I see it all over social media, but I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You saw it from all the angles, including the angle to where she's past him and he's still shooting into her window from the side. that his life was in danger. And so it's amazing how people are affected by a partisan lens.
Guys, can we actually cue up that video from the first story where we covered it? Because I do want to play it again for the purposes of this discussion about the protests. But while you guys get that, let me give you some more details. So we broke down the shooting earlier today on the show. That segment will be linked in the description box if you want to take a look at that. Now, that aside, here's more from Governor Tim Walz.
We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully, as you always do. From here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough. There's nothing more important than Minnesotan safety.
Yes, Governor Walz. Say it. You've done enough. That's the perfect mic drop moment we needed. This is exactly what it looks like when a state leader prioritizes their constituents over political posturing and federal bullying. Trump and Noem, until their performative law and order rhetoric, they've allowed nothing more than to swoop into a situation they've usually exacerbated, pretended to be saviors while fanning the fumes of division. Let's be clear. When Trump and Noem offer their help, oh God, it usually means sending in federal agents who usually are unaccountable to local authorities. They escalate tensions. They often kill the civil liberties that every citizen has, all for a photo op. Their brand of help isn't about safety. It's about projecting an image of authoritarian control, often at the expense of the very people they claim to protect. It's a classic move from the playbook of those who talk a big game about state rights until their states don't fall in line with their agenda. Then suddenly, federal outreach is perfectly acceptable. The hypocrisy is so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Governor Walz isn't just saying no thank you. He's drawing a line in the sand. He's asserting state sovereignty, and more importantly, he's listening to the anger and fear of his community. He understands that escalating a volatile situation with external, often militarized forces is a receipt for disaster, not de-escalation.
I've issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary.
So that was the response from the governor of Minnesota. Jacob Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis, is not accepting that the ICE agent shot and killed an American citizen in self-defense. We showed that in the earlier coverage that we did. But I do want to play the clearest video that I've found of the shooting so everyone can see it and judge for themselves. And also keep in mind what Cenk said about the ICE agent continuing to shoot even as he was on the side of the vehicle as she was attempting to flee. Let's take a look.
No, shame, oh my God, what the what the did you do?
And we do have a slowed down version, and I want you to pay attention to the placement or how her wheels turn. Take a look. I want to also just note quickly, she backed up because she was trying to flee. She wasn't trying to run him over. She wouldn't have backed up if she intended to run him over.
Yeah, so I've got two more thoughts on the slow motion version of that. You see clearly 2 shots after she's already cleared him. She's already cleared him, and he's still shooting into the car. You can't say that his life is in danger if he's already past the car. It's just impossible to say that. It's just physics. It's just obvious. It's right there on tape, right? And so you could say, oh, well, he thought his life was in danger when she first started speeding up. What did she get up to, 2 miles per hour? I'm being literal. 2 miles per hour. And what was his first reaction? His first reaction was to go for his gun. You can rewatch the tape. Your first reaction should be step out of the way.
Exactly.
Then, you want to draw a gun to threaten her, but not to shoot her. You want to try to find a way to apprehend her. You've already got her plates on the record. It's not like we can't chase her down, right, etc. But why don't you move out of the way if you think your life is in mortal danger? Why is your first reflex, let me murder this person, and then I'll figure it out afterwards? So guys, look at it, watch. Okay, so she's now, okay, the wheels are spinning, you're worried, but well, get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way. Why are you in the way? Why are you drawing your gun? What are you doing? And now he shoots once in the front, second time in the side, third time on the side. No. Look, I'm not gonna be on that jury. That jury is gonna have a completely different conversation than this because they're gonna look at his history. They claim that he was hit once before and dragged. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it'll be a mitigating circumstance. They'll look at a lot of things. They'll look at that first time when her wheels are spinning and he's still in front of the car, and they'll have to decide beyond a reasonable doubt whether he killed her, murdered her, homicide, manslaughter, whatever it might be. But we're not in that courtroom right now. We're in this courtroom where we're all trying to decide what happened here and how should we react. So the most important thing is do not react in anger and be peaceful. Tim Walz is right about that. Because if you go and you clash in the streets, you go to the streets.
They have no problem killing you.
Yeah.
They have no problem killing you. That's what I'm worried about. Please be safe out there.
And then
okay?
and then it becomes a bigger and bigger mess. And then both sides start attacking each other. And they've done a brilliant job of dividing us.
100%.
Just as we were beginning to unite on a bunch of super important things, now we all have to be at each other's throats over this. So, and if you're on the right, First Amendment, brothers and sisters, what did we talk about? Freedom, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom to actually protest your government. That's also in the First Amendment. So you can't say you're against protests. You can say you're against violent protests and people who break the law, no question, okay? That applies equally to both sides. They're throwing bricks through windows. Anyway, by the way, if you're on the left and you see anyone breaking the law or doing violence, turn them in, because A, they're gonna use that against you. B, I don't even really believe they're on the left. And if you're doing that, you're not on the left. You're not, you're an idiot and you're causing great damage. Forget the left, to the country if you do violence at this point, right? So get those guys out of your midst if they're in your midst. But overall, guys, whenever you see, okay, so that's a bad ICE agent, in my opinion, doing a totally unjustifiable shooting. Let's say there's a protest and a guy throws a brick through a window, et cetera. That's a bad actor, terrible guy, should be arrested, et cetera. That doesn't mean 2,000 protesters or 20,000 protesters are all guilty. And by the way, it also doesn't mean every single ICE officer is guilty.
That's right.
That guy is guilty, okay? Yep. And so I've said this many times on January 6th, because we're principled and fair and honest. The people who went to Trump's speech but did not go to the Capitol and did not break in had nothing to do with the break-in.
Right.
So you can't blame the guys who were at the speech. That doesn't make any sense. They have every right to go to a speech. They have every right to protest, right? If we take away the right to protest, is it really America? Is it really freedom? So, and if you can't see why people would want to protest over this, when one of their neighbors is shot dead in a situation like this, you're trying super hard not to see it.
Yeah, I agree. I do want to go to CNN's reporting on the ground in Minneapolis. Let's take a quick look at that.
There has been a crowd here for several hours in the aftermath of the shooting. People here are very angry. what you're hearing now is, a lot of anger that's being directed toward the Minneapolis Police Department. We've seen multiple federal law enforcement agencies on scene here, the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, Customs and Border Patrol. Locally, we're seeing the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office and the Minneapolis Police Department. This all comes amid this ramped up immigration effort here where DHS has 2,000 DHS agents are spread throughout the Twin Cities. Again, their largest immigration operation to date. Again, people here in Minneapolis are very angry, and we're very angry about that operation at all. Now today, their anger is heightened. Right now, it is being directed toward the Minneapolis Police Department. They think in this moment is protecting ICE and not them.
I shared this in the initial story that we did about it, but the victim here is a 37-year-old woman, an American citizen by the name of Renee Nicole Good. She was a mother, so now her children will grow up without their mother in a situation that could have been prevented. She didn't need to be shot and killed. I think that's pretty clear from the video.
Yeah, one last thing, guys. Not everything is worthy of a death sentence. A death sentence is the most extreme thing in the world. And when you shoot someone in the face, that's a death sentence. So you could say, look, I get it. I would have been worried for my life in that situation. I don't get it, but I understand that others view it differently, right? And look, we had this debate about the skateboards and the plastic bags and all the things that were thrown. And would that make you feel like you're in mortal danger? And different people have different opinions, okay? And a totally different, the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, okay? I get that people have different opinions. But do you really think that in that situation, you would have killed her and left her child motherless?
There's no way.
Like, come on, please tell me that you wouldn't have killed her. That is not something worthy of killing someone over 2 miles per hour going by you. No, this is madness.
This right here, this is the core of it. Do you really think that in that situation, you would have killed her and left her child motherless? That question cuts to the absolute bone of human decency. Because when you strip away the jargon, the officer's safety talking points and the partisan spin, you've left with a mother, an American citizen dead over what appears to be a minor attempt to flee. 2 miles per hour. Let that sink in. Is that a threat that warrants lethal force? Is that the standard of a death sentence in America? For someone trying to drive away slowly, does that mean their life is forfeited? Absolutely not. This isn't about what ifs or split-second decisions, when the video clearly shows continued shooting even after the perceived immediate threat was passed. This isn't about defending illegal actions. It's about demanding proportionate responses for those entrusted with the power of life and death. We're not asking for officers to be defenseless. We're asking for them to be accountable, to use judgment, and to prioritize human life over a vehicle stop. Very, very simple.
Don't let them divide us. They want us at each other's throats. And if you do that on both sides, you're giving the people in power the greatest gift. That's exactly what they're looking for here. We should unite as Americans, have decent law enforcement that protects us, and obviously we should allow for protests left, right, center.
And don't cheer on state-sponsored violence against its citizens. Don't normalize that.
Yeah, I mean, for the folks who are worried about jackbooted thugs of the government and government tyranny, you should be a little bit careful. And if you think, oh, it's okay, it's just the left wing, it's the left wing today. What's it gonna be tomorrow?
And there you have it, folks. This story isn't about one tragic incident. It's a stark reminder of the battles we're constantly fighting for justice, accountability, and basic human decency in our political landscape. We need to stay vigilant, we need to stay informed, and most importantly, we need to keep speaking truth to power. Tell me, what do you think? If you found this breakdown insightful, if you are ready to stand up for a more just California and a more equal nation, then hit that like button. Share this video with everyone you know, and subscribe to our channel for more real talk and unapologetic commentary. Let's keep this conversation going and push for the change we deserve. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.